Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode. I am your host, Cameron Gilmore. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys right now, right off the bat, this is going to be a conversation that you are going to want to play multiple times. The gentleman I have in front of you, I've known for years and years. He's been a great friend, a great mentor. Most importantly, though, he's a man of faith, a man of God. He literally started from the trenches, working in the trenches to now owning multiple companies and multiple businesses. This man has years and years of not only practical knowledge, but business knowledge. And you wouldn't know that. One of the most humble guys that you'll ever meet. It's my good friend, a good mentor of mine, Melvin Estorga, is on with us. I appreciate you coming on the show, this project, impart upon us your wisdom and your knowledge. Dude, I am so jacked for this episode because of what you're going to just preach on us. I'm often going to feel like you're going to be preaching. It's just going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. Give us some back history on this man. He owns a construction company. We'll get into that. He owns some real estate company, car washes. He's an investor. He's a father of three beautiful children, been married to his beautiful sweetheart since they were 18 years old. We'll talk a little bit about that. Melvin, thank you for coming on. Please take 7 minutes, kind of tell us where you grew up, where you came from, your ambitions in life. More importantly, how has your calling inspired millions? Before we get started, I need to give a shout out to my biggest sponsor, Warrior Energy Drink. The reason why we partnered together is because we have the same mindset, with the same drive. We're for the people. We're about the people. Look, Warrior Energy Drink has 0 sugar options, and they got water as well. Low calories, great taste, very affordable, no crash, big energy fast, high in B vitamins, awesome design, culture design, 160 milligrams of caffeine. Other energy drinks have way too much, and they're always giving it back to their community. They're paying it forward. Partner with them, guys. Click the link below. Go get yourself your own Warrior Energy Drink and go crush today.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me on your podcast. Oh my gosh, I got the chills like 3 times during that intro. I'm like, holy, who's he talking about? Who is this guy you're talking? I want to meet this guy. Like, this guy sounds great. I want to meet this guy who you're talking about. I just, sometimes it's hard to believe that, when they give you an introduction, that they're really talking about you, and you start listening and reflecting on all these cool things that you've accomplished, but you really don't, you don't pat your back on, you don't pat yourself on the back too much on that regard. It's like, holy cow, like, I've done all that stuff. Is that me you're talking about? Like, damn, that's crazy. I kid you not, I got the chills like 3 times. I'm a local guy from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm born and raised here. I love the Valley. I've traveled a lot, but there's no other place I'd rather be than Phoenix, Arizona. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love the weather, love the mountains, love the nature, love the desert. I love the sunsets. And, I'm 40 years old. Like you said, I got married at 18 years old, have 3 kids. I've got a 15-year-old boy. He's trying to go pro baseball right now. I've got an 11-year-old boy, Benjamin. So Sebastian is 16. Sorry, he just had a birthday this month. Sebastian is 16, Benjamin's 11, and Priscilla is 7 years old. The little princess is at home, and all my kids are just a great inspiration to me and what I do now. Ambition in life, I don't know. I never really focused on what my main objective in life was. I think my main objective of life and my ambition was to live a good life. I always tell my friends, the day I pass away, I want people to say very good things about me. And I want there to be a lot of people there remembering and celebrating my life. And I think that's a great ambition to have, is that when you're no longer here, what's the legacy that you're leaving behind? And I guess, now that I think of it, that's a great ambition. It's a legacy, is what legacy you're leaving behind. And to me, it's very important. What else? You said my ambition is where I'm from. What else is there?
Well, let me ask you this, because you said
Okay.
something, you don't know what your ambition is, and I'm going to call BS on this, because
Okay.
let me say this, because this is, Melvin and I had a conversation before this interview, because when we spoke before, your mission now is while you're building your companies, is to find people to replace you.
Right.
Melvin is systematically changing the industries that he's in. No, he's doing things that nobody is doing at all. So I want you to explain that to me. Help me understand this kid from the Navajo reservation. Help me understand, what do you mean by your mission? I'm going to say your ambition in life is to build companies so you can find people to replace you.
Well, I never looked at myself or saw myself as a business person. In a sense of my ambition is to build businesses. I'm going to go what comes natural to me. And what comes natural to me is loving people and caring for people. Um, it did come with a nice package as when I met people and started helping people, it was wrapped around the business industry. So that was great because it benefited not only the people I was helping, but it also benefited me. Um, it is a great mission that I have in life is to help people. I think one of the greatest things that we can do is help people. It's very rewarding in a sense that we can change people's lives. I mean, come on. If you can do something for someone that changes your life, because I'm gonna tell you, somebody changed my life. And that's when I realized, listen, I need to do the same for someone else. When somebody took time out of their day and guided me, instructed me, just cared for me, I was like, wow, I'm blown away of what an impact someone can do, someone's life can have on somebody else's life. It was so impactful for me that to this day, there's not one day I'm not thankful for what other people have done for me and what, thank God for the people that he's put in my life. I am so, so grateful for that. It is a mission to help people though. Ambition, I still don't know what that is though. I'm gonna go back to that. I don't know what my ambition is because I really focus on wanting to try to help people, help the people around me, and develop myself even further every single day. Um, I do want to have a great life, and whatever that looks like on the way, we'll call it ambition.
Hey, where were you? Because this is where the story is. This is where the story is so Cinderella-esque, if you will. Where were you when? And we know the person. Shout out to Joe Courtney. Where were you at that time when he came into your life and said, Melvin, I'm going to do something for you that you never thought possible. I'm going to extrapolate this best version of yourself, a version of you that you never thought was there. You just needed someone to open that window. Take us through that process. Where were you and how did this ball get going of your change?
Well, I think the greatest gift that my mentor, Joe Courtney, and I have a few mentors, I will get into the people that really helped me believe in myself, was they saw something in me I didn't see in myself. And I think that's what a mentor is. I think a mentor is not someone that can just show you the way, but believe in you and see something in you that you don't see yourself. And I think it's so huge when I mentor people and I talk to guys and I see what somebody saw in me in somebody else. And it's like, wow, it's so rewarding to be able to see it. Like, you're doing it, bro. Like, I get people to tell me, how do I do this? How do I want to do it now. And I'm like, dude, you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. Like, you're on track. Like, I see it. Whatever you're doing right now, just by you asking, what can I do to get better, is actually the recipe for you to be better. That is exactly what you need to be doing. And you're doing it right now. And I look at my change and what Joe did in my life. And when he really believed in me and saw what I didn't see, it gave me a lot of conviction to continue to pursue because of his story. I think a lot of what my success is based on is inspiration. I mean, I was inspired. I mean, I was very motivated. I was always really motivated. I've been motivated to work hard all my life. I just never was really inspired to dream bigger because I was from a home that was like, hey man, you got a job, you got food, be grateful, but don't ask for much more. You know what I mean? And I was like, why can't we ask for much more? I want more. And Joe gave me that permission to do that. He gave me the okay, it's okay if you want more. It doesn't make you a bad person if you want more. You know, if you want to continue to grow as a person, if you want your relationships to be better, if you want to be a better father, if you want to be a better partner, a better employee, a better boss, it's okay to be better. It's okay to get more. And when I mean more, I'm not saying more in possessions. I'm thinking abundance in life, like a life of full abundance, like where everything you have is in abundance, overflowing. I mean, come on, let's talk about that. If you can have a life that overflows in abundance in love, in relationships, in friendships, and in business, and in every aspect, didn't you make it? Isn't that wealth? Isn't that what everybody wants outside of the bank account? Because that doesn't matter, but it matters a little bit, but it doesn't determine your abundance.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about it. You know, money does make things better. It does help. It does solve some issues. You know, right now I'm very fortunate to help my family, and that's because of the disciplines that I put in place. You know, 5, 10 years ago, that I am reaping today. So, I mean, I don't know how we sidetracked to this, but I love it. I love talking about it. I love just circling back to that part of my life, and I thank you for asking that question. I really appreciate that. It reminds me that I still have a lot to do and continue to pursue. Absolutely.
Oh, man, man, like I'm like internally just screaming because you. Okay, hold on. Before my ADHD just takes us down multiple rabbit holes. You said something was key, and you hear this a lot, guys. I hear this a lot. Those of you that are listening, do me a favor, go back. Go if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, that's great, or Amazon, or Audible, that's great. I want you to go to YouTube, go to the YouTube, and go to that segment that Melvin just went through. What you will see is this instantaneous change in his being. If you didn't catch it, you will. You watch him dive into this abundant life. You watch him go through, and you watch he's light. He stood up more. Like his voice became one of authority and one of gratitude. Go back and listen to that. Watch that part, because then you will realize this is a man who has been through the trenches. Literally, we'll get into that. But because somebody saw something in him that he didn't see, he is where he is today through the disciplines. We'll talk about this. I have a question for you, because you said something. You said that Joe gave you permission. Very key, permission. What do you mean he gave you permission? Can you explain that a little bit more? Yeah. Hey, everybody, I want to take this quick second here. A lot of you have asked me, what journal do I use? My family use? Simple, this journal right here. See, my buddy Craig Smith has spent years and years developing a journal that takes everything that's up in here and puts it on paper so we can be edified and grow. So if you don't know what to write about, which oftentimes happens, he gives you ideas. And if you want power statements, things that say, I am this, he gives you those ideas. Now, when you look at on one page, it says, this is what I'm accomplished. This is what I am statements. And there's a quote every single day that you get to write on and focus on. The second page is write your daily thoughts, get it out of your head, put it on paper to be the best version of yourself. The link's down below. Listen, I get no money for this. It's just, I believe in this journal. I love this journal. It's changed my life, my family's life. And if you want, it'll change your life as well.
Yeah. You know, when Joe, very emotional. I just got the chills again. It gets deep, because I remember just bawling my eyes out. I mean, I was bawling my eyes out to Joe, and I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. I don't have money. I'm not where I want to be in life. There's so many obstacles in my way. I feel like I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And he gave me permission. He says, yes, you can. You have everything in you to continue to pursue. And then he continues to share his story with me, how he went through obstacles and how he didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and how, you know, everybody said no to him. And he was a person that nobody looked at to be the person who he became. And he gave me that authority to myself to pursue what I wanted in life. Because sometimes in life we don't believe we can do things. That's great, but that's not for me. That's great for so and so because they're great, they're intellectual, they're smart, they're beautiful, they're rich. That's good for them, but someone like me can't do that. That's too far for me to do. I just can't do that because you know. And then we start playing this violin and this pity party that we can't do things because we got these obstacles in front of us. I'm a single parent, well, or I'm divorced, or I just lost a business, or I just lost my family member. I can't pursue what I think is happiness because there's so many obstacles in my way. But in reality, that's what's going to take you to that next level. Those are the reasons why we continue, and that's what Joe gave me. He gave me that authority to pursue the dreams I wanted, the things I wanted in life, because I had these obstacles. And there were all the stepping stones I needed. He said, Melvin, what makes your story so great is the stuff that you go through as you get there. Nobody wants to hear about how quick you got there and how easy it was. People want to hear about, the real struggles you had in life when you couldn't make, a mortgage payment, when you lost your house, when you lost your car, when didn't have anything, and how you came back from that. Everybody loves watching Rudy the movie or a comeback movie, right? Why do people connect so well to a movie or a story that it's a comeback story? Because everyone can relate to it. Because everyone has a comeback story. And to me, Joe gave me that opportunity to have a comeback story. I didn't think I could have a comeback story, but I did. Except the book was written. I just wasn't reading the end of the book yet. Somebody else had read the end of the book yet. I just hadn't. I was stuck in the middle of the book and I was, figuring out, how to get through this. But someone else saw the ending and said, you know what? You're going to be very happy. You're going to be well off. You're going to be great. Go do it. Continue to do it. Let's go. And that's what Joe gave me. Gave me that authority to myself and gave me permission to continue.
Holy. I almost had to bleep myself out on that one. Gosh dang it, that's so good. Freaking heck, man. That is so the permission that is given to you to succeed in life, to get off of your pity high horse. Everybody has a pity high horse. Guys, what you are seeing and what you just watched is you're seeing the 95% of what Melvin did and has and continues to do to be in the position he is today. Well, you look, you can go on his social medias. We'll have all the links down below. You see the 5%. He has a very sweet red car, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you go see it. His wife drives a very sweet car. He lives in a nice home, but that's what you see. What you don't see and what you don't hear, you listen to the pain, listen to the anguish, listen to when he remembers that going through all of that. That is real, authentic struggle. But because he was disciplined enough, he followed a mentor, he was brave enough to ask for help and not go, you know what? I'm just some kid from Phoenix, Arizona, right? I'm some kid who grew up in the ghetto. I'm some kid that my parents are wealthy, but I'm not wealthy. Joe removed all of the excuses and say, nope, I know the end of the book and the story, and you aren't even close. You aren't even close. You're still writing chapters.
Isn't it crazy, bro? It's so crazy.
Oh, gosh, dang it, man. That is so good. All right. Before I ask this next question, I want to ask this. Give us two principles that you can share with us on the discipline that was instilled to you by Joe and your other mentor that you still use today.
Well, my other mentor is my business partner. I got a business partner. I got a construction company, Travis Hillis. I mean, he has been such a mentor to me. And not only a mentor, a business partner, now a very good friend. I said my best friend, one of my best friends. And he's just has been an inspiration to me, and he doesn't realize it. And he doesn't know it. And that's what I love about him, that he's always teaching me and showing me things, and he's not trying to. And that's the secret there. It's picking up the little things people leave behind and being able to learn from them. And to be able to learn from someone, you need to be able to have a level of humbleness. It is so huge. It is so important to be able to be humbled and let your pride down to be able to learn from someone, I'm sorry, that is willing to teach you. But sometimes we don't want to learn from someone because we're so prideful. Um, Pick up the little things in life from the people around you, from anybody, from mom, dad, brother, neighbor, coworker, and then create a recipe for yourself. You're going to get a little bit of here, a little bit of that. Create a recipe yourself, and then be humble enough to apply them in your life. I mean, it's easy to get the advice of a established person. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's done it, super successful. They've done it. I'll take his advice. But mom or dad or brother or sister, you ain't done nothing in life. I can't learn anything from you. I disagree. Even if it's the things not to do, you learn from them. You know what I mean? It's not always what to do, it's what not to do. You can learn from, you know what I'm saying? So I think those are two keys that really help me develop, is being able to be humbled and be able to be a sponge to everyone around me and learn something from everyone and every experience, and everybody I shake hands with, I learn something from everybody. So it's huge.
Oh man, guys, look, man, success leave breadcrumbs. Are you
Yes.
picking them? Are you picking them up? Are you
Yes.
picking them up? I, man, look, I'm still that kid. I walk down the street. If there's a penny on the ground, I'm picking it up. There's
Yep.
money that's there, I'm picking it up because
Yeah.
there's a story behind that. Oh man, that is
Yes.
so good. That is so good. Hey, let me move on. Let me move this next question. I really would love to dive into it. It's a beautiful segue into this. When we spoke earlier, we spoke before, you made a claim that was, I think, is absolutely beautiful. You said, we build people before we build companies. Okay. Let me say this again so everybody can just let it digest. It says, you said, we build people before we build companies. Look, that's not how traditional business is built today.
Correct.
It's just not.
Right.
So
Right.
please explain why you focus so much on the person first.
Well, it's super important that you understand that a business is built on people. And if it's built on people, that's your foundation. And if I want to build a big business, I'm in construction. I sure how better have a big foundation, strong foundation. That thing's better have rebar, 3,000 psi, fiber, concrete. This is construction talk now, right? this this thing's better with. It's got to withstand the biggest storm, whatever it throws at it. It's got to withhold. So for me, our foundation is people. It's the people that build. Now, when we build vertical, that's the business. That's the clients. That's the revenue. That's the equipment. That's the logistics of a business. Everything that is makes a business is a vertical business. The foundation is the people. And to me, that's super important. Without a foundation, your building will collapse.
Mm. Yeah, but okay, I have to play devil's advocate here. Okay, I've been in the business space for 20 something years, right? My first sales job was in 1999. I was selling gateway computers, right? Speaking Spanish. Um, I have to play devil's advocate because can you really change individuals through uh, through process by simply laying out a plan, right? Laying out a plan or a purpose or having them visualize their life as it will become. Because when you build people, obviously you got to take away. You're basically extrapolating out the negativity and say, no, this is how it is. This is who I can see you become. So can you really do that? Can you really extrapolate the negative and build people internally so that therefore it will be that strong foundation for a company?
Well, one thing I learned is a solution to pollution is dilution.
Say that again.
Okay.
Say it again, because there's a lot of us that are really slow, including me. Say that again.
The solution to pollution is dilution. So it's not always about taking something out of somebody. It's diluting them with the positive, with the good. Everybody wants to, hey, they have this bad. There's just something negative about this person. Let me try to get that out of them. No, it's like you don't work that way. I always tell my wife, we don't have a spending problem, we have an income problem, right? So it's like I want to spend more. That means I got to make more, right? And my wife loves shopping, so she can attest to like, hey, listen, we need to make more because I don't have a spending problem. So when we look at people, and you take a look at somebody, and everyone has issues, everyone has problems, everybody, but we can't fix the problems. You can't fix them. You can only pour into them because the minute you try to extract them, there's a defense mechanism that pops up to people like, no, step away, don't touch me, don't get away from me, don't go there in my life. But if you pour into them, they'll receive. And it's about being a good listener to what people really want. So let's take, for example, the business. In business, because I feel like this is a business interview, listen to your employees, listen to your people. What do they want? What do they desire? What's their ambition? And pour into them. Don't ever extract from them. You know what I mean? Because you want to dilute that negativity with positivity. And if you can change that mindset in positivity, their negativity has just been diluted.
Dang. Let it sit. Let it marinate like a good meat. You got to let that baby marinate. You got to dilute it with positivity. How then? How do you dilute negative? Look, you don't have to try to go and look for negativity. It is always there. You're in your car, someone cuts you off. You get on your social media feed, you watch people, it's amazing the amount of likes and views people will go out showing somebody getting beat up, showing somebody getting hurt, showing a negative rapport on the news. This person, that person, Republicans, Democrats, fighting, whatever it may be in the US, out of the US. How do you dilute people with positivity? How can you have that speak louder than the negativity that they're in?
Well, I mean, let's speak on negativity to begin with. A small child, a toddler, you don't have to show him how to act bad. He knows how to act bad. By nature, we're negative people. By nature, we're sinful. By nature, it's just who we are. So we can't always ask to how to get rid of that negativity. How do we add positivity? Is always through training and exercise. And it's got to be consistent. When you train and exercise, it's like going to the gym. You're going to grow as you train and exercise. When you train and exercise your people in business, it's training them in positivity and positive words. Yeah, people cut me off. Show them like, listen, you by getting upset is not going to change the fact that you got cut off. Are you fine? Are you good? Yeah, you're good. All right, just let it go. I do not get road rage because there's nothing that I do that's going to change the fact that that guy cut me off. It's gone. It's past. It's over with. Let me be positive about this situation. I'm fine. I'm good. There's always something good in every negative situation. And teach people there's always something good in every negative situation. You know what? As a business, guess what we have? Problems. We have issues. Like we don't. It's always our focus is solving problems. And that's what a business does. It solves a problem. A restaurant solves a problem of hunger, right? You go to a restaurant, there's a problem. What's the problem? I'm hungry. Well, here you go. Solve that problem. Understanding that you can always solve a problem, a positive with that negative situation is what's going to propel you to your training and exercise every day mentally and to your team. And it's continually pouring into them. You can't do it once. It's every day. It's calling them. Hey, what's up? How was your day today? Oh, this guy cut me off. Are you good? Yeah, I'm good. It's great. Listen, good thing is that you're still, alive. You're still, we're going to the next project. We're still, let's move on from that. It's training. All of a sudden, you start reprogramming people not to think negative based on their situation, but start thinking positive based on their outcome in the future. So thinking, all right, well, I'm still good. That was good. That was a scare, but I'm good. Let's not be negative about that situation. So diluting them by training and exercising every day is something that comes huge. And you start diluting all the negativity. All of a sudden you start people are happy, people are joyful, people are, it's not hanging around the cooler anymore, talking bad things. It's positive things, and that's something you impart to people every day.
Okay, I got to do this again, devil's advocate, right? But Melvin, you're wealthy. You have all these businesses. You have all this. I mean, like you said, you don't have a spending problem. You have an income problem. Like you don't have the same issues that I have, right? I mean, I'm faced with kids not listening. I'm faced with a bad job. I hate my job, right? These are the real life situations that you're not faced with. How then can you retrain? How can I retrain and dilute myself to not look at the negative, but do what you did and look at the positive in all things?
I'm glad you asked that question. Because one of the things that I learned is that I needed to become the person I want to be today, not tomorrow. So I wanted to be successful, entrepreneur, great father, great husband. Everything I wanted to be, I needed to be that today, not when I got the bank account, not when I got the business. That'll come, but I needed to be that person today. I remember listening to Jim Rohn. He said one thing: I started tipping like a rich person when he wasn't. It changed that mindset. I'm already rich. It's changing who you are today so you can see the results tomorrow. It's huge. Understanding that I need to become different so I can have different outcomes. I need to change today so I can have the things I want tomorrow, right? Pay the price today so I can pay any price tomorrow. That's the things that is huge. Is people always say, well, once I get the business, once I become rich, once I have everything, then I'll change. Then I'll change my mindset. No, it needs to happen today. Become the person you want to become now. And that's what's going to change everything in your life. Because, let me put it this way. When I get a contract, when I get a job, when something good happens to me, I'm not surprised about it. I'm not, sure, great. But I was expecting that. I'm expecting success in my life because I determined, I put the discipline in yesterday to obtain it today. Like, for example, what's coming tomorrow for me or the next year, or a year from now, 2 years, 10 years from now, I expect it. I expect things to happen to me because I'm already believing today that it's going to happen. So when it happens, I'm like, yep, I knew it. I knew that 10 years ago. I knew I was going to get here. I believed I was going to be here. So it's not a big surprise to me because I believed it years ago or yesterday or last week. You believe it, become the person you want to become in the future, but become that person today.
You're going to make me cuss. You're going to make me cuss. Dang, that is so good. Guys.
Let me just add to that. I remember, getting so dressed up, getting my finest shirts, my finest shoes, and going out to dinner and believing I was this very, very successful person, when I can barely pay the bill. We're going to McDonald's. That's right. Honey, put your nicest stuff on. We're going out to dinner. Or we're going to McDonald's. Believing in myself, that feeling of successfulness today. Believe you're successful today. And then over time, it'll happen.
Oh, that's so good. But look, guys, back up. I want to make this point real quick. Melvin wasn't faking it until he made it. There's a difference between you fake it until you make it, right? He was not at all doing that. He was living. So himself, 10 years down the road, was manifesting. He was self-manifesting his 10-year future self today. That's why he dressed up. That's why he said, I get it. We're going to McDonald's. We're going to be the best version of myself today. He was. With what he had, he was the best version of himself at that moment. He wasn't faking it. He wasn't buying the fancy cars. He wasn't buying the swag, the drip, none of that. He said, you know what? Be the best version I can today because my future self is saying you start now because you can have this abundance 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road. That's what he's saying. Good night. That's so good. All right. Gosh, well, look, we could stop. We won't though. I've got a few more things. We got a lot more to cover. But this is to this point, guys. If you need to take a break, put it on pause, go get a drink, retool because we've got more to come. I'm telling you, this. I told you this episode is going to blow people out of the door and out of the gym. Tell me about Richard, 24-year-old.
Richard,
Your 24-year-old replacement.
he's 28.
28. At the time when you found him, he was 24.
Yes, yes. He was 24 when I found him. I found him. I found the jewel. Richard has been such a blessing in my life. He's such a good kid. I was doing some work I was doing a favor for a pastor of a church. I was doing his backyard. I was landscaping his backyard for him. He was asking Melvin, how can I save some money? How can I save some money on, on my backyard? I'm like, well, bring some of your youth in, your young adults, and they can spread out the rock and they can do some of the stuff that, it's easy that, would save you some money. So he brings in a few of his kids from the church, and they're young guys, 20, 21, 19. They're young people, young adults. And I see this kid just working. I'm like, everybody sat down, took a break. He just won't stop. I'm like, who is this kid? I start talking to him, and he's, smart. He's bilingual, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, and this is me understanding I need to find my replacement. Like, I'm on a mission to find the next me. You know what I mean? I need somebody to replace me, and I need to find somebody. And then it takes a while. It takes a long time, and it comes with a lot of hurt because you want to believe in people, and people don't believe in themselves. And there's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can do about people that don't believe themselves. You can believe them, but I can't want it more for you than you want it for yourself. And I saw this kid. I'm like, wow, this kid is great. I start talking to him. He's like, he's going to ASU, wants to be a civil engineer. And I'm like, great. Hey, why don't you come and interview? He's like, well, I'm not looking for a job. I'm like, I know you don't. I'm not. You're not looking for, but just come and interview. It'd be great for your experience. Get you some experience on interviewing and stuff like that. He's like, okay. He comes in and interviews. A couple of days later, he sits down. He tells me, I really want to be an engineer. I really want to, focus on my career. I'm like, great. Awesome. But what do you want out of life? He's like, what do you mean? What do you want? What do you want? What does your life look like in 5, 10 years? And he didn't know. He didn't realize he was going what people wanted him to do. Oh, people tell me I got to go to school, be an engineer, and, have a 401k. And I said, you know what? Let me tell you my story. And I told him my story. Like, listen, bro, I'm a laborer. I started at $7.50 an hour, digging trenches. And I moved from there to have a life of freedom. And it was through hard work, dedication, but it came through taking risks. How much risk are you willing to take to get the life you want? He's like, all of it. I'm willing to risk it all. I'm like, I'll never ask you to not do something you don't want to do. I won't ask you to quit school. I won't ask you to do any of that. But come work for me. Come work for me. And if I give you the life you want, or a glimpse of what you can become in the next year, stay with me. If you don't, I understand. And if you want, you can start part-time. Within, I don't know what it was, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he's like, okay, I'm all in. He's like, I want this lifestyle. I want what you guys have. I want what Travis and you have built. And I want to build it with you guys. And it was so important for me to show him his future, but not only that, but show him what he could become, what kind of lifestyle he can have, the freedom. I mean, you asked me where's Richard right now? I don't know where's Richard at. I haven't seen Richard in a week and a half. Probably, I don't know. I talked to him, but I don't know where he's at. What is he doing? I don't know. Because he has freedom, and I trust him, and I know he gets the job done. He's doing his job somewhere out in the field, doing something, and you can say, well, Melvin, that's poor management. No, that's believing in people. That's believing in somebody that could always get his work done, no matter what the situation is. I'll see him online sending emails at 12:30 at night. 1 in the morning. You know what I mean? He doesn't clock in, but he never clocks out either. He has freedom, but he's become now one of the culture that we created. And that's important for us. Richard has become my replacement because I knew I would never be able to have the life I want if I didn't have somebody to replace me. And now, guess what Richard's objective in life is?
Find someone
Find
to
his
replace
replacement. Exactly. That's how it works. You empower people. And again, back to Jim Rome, I remember what he said once is that if you help enough people get what they want, you can get everything you want. And that's so huge for me. You know, helping Richard we were there. I mean, he lived with his parents when I first met him. He didn't have a car. He did have a car. He had a Chevy Malibu. Now he drives a lifted Chevy pickup truck, diesel, jacked up, like the sickest truck ever. Bought his new home about 2 years ago, brand new home. Has a great relationship with his girlfriend. You know, he's traveling. He's doing all these things, things that he never thought he would do. But through a vision and inspiration, I think he's obtained a lot through the culture that we created. And it's the belief factor, the believing in people. And very proud of Richard. He's come a long ways.
Did you catch it? Did you catch it? Full circle. Melvin needed someone to pull him out of the trenches, not physically, but mentally. Mentally, Melvin's mental trench was he did not believe that somebody like him making $7, just over $7 an hour. I know you guys are like, that's what? You can't live on that. You're dang right you can't.
Yeah.
Melvin needed somebody to pull him out of his mental trench. Literally, he was physically in there. Mentally, he was stuck. I can't do this. He needed somebody who could pull him out and see the bigger vision of Melvin, could see Melvin in 10, 15 years and say, listen, if you listen and follow me, link up hip to hip, do what I tell you. Don't ask. Just do what I tell you, and it will make sense. You then will be able to do the same thing for somebody one day that I'm doing for you today. And guess what? He found that person. He painted the picture of, here's what I came from. Here's where I'm at. Do you want this? Yes or no? Yes, I'm all in. I'm all in. What he didn't tell you is he pulled Richard with everyone. He took him, mentored him side by side. Any call, anything he did, he showed and painted the picture. And now guess what? Guess what? 4 years later, Richard is looking for his replacement. You build a culture where you were replacing yourself with the better version of yourself at that time. Because where Melvin is today is a way better version. But 24-year-old Melvin was not probably nearly where Richard is. Now, Richard's going to mentor somebody that's going to be a better version of him. He is creating this institution of self-believers, self-starters, and self-motivators. Good flipping heck.
Yeah. So you word things a lot better than I do. But it's the same thing. It's exactly what I'm. My belief factor is that I cannot grow alone. I can't grow alone. You know, it takes a community, it takes people, it takes loved ones, it takes so many people coming together to build something. I can't do it on my own. I can't run a business on my own. I got business partners and management people and foremans and superintendents, and I've got laborers, and I've got there's so many people that come together to build what is a business. And as I look at it, and I'm listening to you talk about this and hearing it again over and over and over again, I can't help to be thankful of that situation, of that growing together with people. Because I tell you one thing, I wish someone did that when I was 24 years old, but I'm grateful that it happened the time that it did happen. I'm better late than never, but I'm here now. But Richard has become a person who I can see a great future in his life. He's going to be successful in anything he does. And I hope he continues to be a part of this company and part of our life, because he is truly a blessing. to everyone around in this company. So
Oh,
check this out
Jim.
though. So check this out though. So I'm in the construction industry, and we talked about that. I hired Richard with no construction experience, no management experience, no what's the word? None experience. I mean, nothing. He had no clue what we did. Nothing. But what I knew is he had a heart and he could pursue his ambition through dedication. Because, I mean, looking at this guy not stop working, I'm like, who is this kid that won't stop working? This kid's got a freaking work ethic. It's unbelievable. All these other guys are, laid out, tired, and this guy won't stop. This kid is like a little train. What's that little train?
Little
Thomas or
engine.
little
Little engine that
engine, right?
could.
The little engine that could. This guy won't stop. He's got determination. I saw something in him that somebody saw in me. I said, once you identify it, you can identify it multiple times to many people. You'd be like, that's the guy, that's the guy, that's the guy. You know what I mean? Like you just know it. You can identify it so easily. And that's what I do with Richard. Richard is such a great guy. And with no experience, imagine being an employee of mine, 8, 9, 10 years, you in the company. And I said, hey guys, this is your new boss. He has no experience, never done construction, doesn't know how to read plans, doesn't know anything about machinery, doesn't know anything about anything, but that's your new boss. There's got to be a factor in your human that they believe you more than the new guy coming on, that they say, well, Melvin, I don't know about that guy you just brought on, but I believe you in saying that's the next guy. And he has come a long ways in learning. And like I said, it took a lot from not only me, my partner, but the entire team to believe in Richard. It did. Because it takes a lot when he shows up to a job site and you know more than your boss. It takes Richard to be humble to begin with, knowing, hey, I don't know what's going on. Can you teach me? And, like I said, he shadowed me for, a few months. Everywhere I went, he just shadowed me. He just followed me everywhere. Got the lingo down, got the conviction down, got how to deal with people. And that's very important. People that learn from one another that way.
You alluded to this because I want you to talk about the culture of your company, because you're building a culture, you're building something that's extremely beneficial because it can be applied through all. It doesn't have to be necessarily business, life, family, the whole bit. But before you answer that, I want to ask this question. Mentorship comes from the heart. If you don't believe that, go back and you haven't been listening to this interview at all. Okay. What are some valuable lessons you have learned first by being mentored, and then secondly by mentoring people? If you could just share one or two principles that you learned first for being mentored, and then secondly being mentoring people.
Well, I mean, the first thing that pops up to my mind is respect. Total respect. You've got to respect. As a mentor and being mentored, you got to understand, if someone's talking to me, and I've got to respect what they're saying, because they've gone through it. They understand. They have a story behind what they're telling me to do, or apply. So respect that. Respect the grind that they went through. So understanding that if I want to mentor somebody, I expect them to be respectful to the information I'm going to give. If you apply it, it's up to you. If you don't, it's really irrelevant. I'm just telling you what I did. If you respect it and you want to apply it, that's up to you. I think that the biggest thing in our company and the culture that we run is the respect. In this company, no one has ever been yelled at. You don't yell at another human being. You don't insult another human being in this company. You don't tell them, what are you doing? You're dumb, you're idiot. What the hell? I mean, we're in construction. There's a lot of bleeping that goes on. Not in this company. You don't ever tell somebody what the hell you're doing. Why you don't insult a person. Not one. If you don't like the person and how they're working, pull them to the side, be like, thank you for your service, you're no longer needed. That's all you need to say. That's it. You don't insult the guy because the guy has a wife, children, mother, brothers. You don't insult somebody who is a breadwinner for their home. They don't get up every morning to go get insulted at work. They They don't come to work because they they want to come and get assaulted. They come to work because they have a need to provide for their families. And if you respect that need and you respect the human being, they're going to wake up every morning and be like, well, you know what? I don't make much money, but I have a good time doing it. You know what I mean? I'm not where I want to be, but shit, this is fun. I go to a place where I'm respected. They treat me well. I have a great work environment, and that's all I can ask for. You know, a a track for people to run on, and that's important for us as a culture. And I don't ever yell at my employees. Never did I. That's never crossed my mind. Now has guys wrecked trucks, flipped over equipment. I mean, ran over walls. Yeah. All right. Well, who was it? This person. We'll talk to this person. What happened? This so and so. This happened. All right. What did you learn from it? Yeah. All right. Don't let it happen again. Oh, I can kick a storm. I can cuss and slam doors. But you know what? What is that? What is that? What does that really create? More negativity. It doesn't solve the problem. Doesn't create any type of good feel that that your employees thinks you're a good boss. Well, no, I'll cut them some slack every once in a while, or mess with them every once in a while. Hey, remember that wall you knocked down the other day? But in a fun gesture, you're like, listen, man, things happen, and that's important to us. The respect level within the community of this company.
Dang. That you want to know why he's successful? Successful in building people, that right there. What you just learned, I don't have any data on this, but I can almost bet that 0.25% of companies think that way. I almost could say that. I've been in the business industry for a very long time. And that respect, I absolutely love that. What you just that indoctrination of respect. Man, that is so cool. Do this. Share the story of what you of your meetings that you have. This, you guys, listen to this. You want to talk about respect. You want to talk about building people. Listen to what when he talks to his employees. He gives them vision. He gives them dreams.
Yeah.
They have these meetings, guys, that they build dreams. Just go into that a little bit about what the meeting and how you run it, and why did you start running these meetings this way?
Well, it was important for me to give people what I have, the vision. And in the construction industry, you're asked to do a job, and it's very black and white. You don't get inspired very much in the construction industry. There's not very much personal growth. There's not very much dream factors. So when I said I want to start doing these meetings to give people what I have is a vision, is a reason why, a motivation, inspiration. And we started having these meetings, and we wouldn't talk about the logistics. We would talk about a lot of how are you doing. Me and Travis sit back and we'll ask them, how are you doing? How was your day? What are you doing this weekend? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? How can we help you get what you want in life? And we'll go around and ask everybody, hey, what can we do to help you? What can we do to help you? Right now, I don't run the business. Travis doesn't run the business. Richard and the superintendent, they run the business. We're here to help them get what they want in life. That's our goal now. Our goal is to help them. What do you want? What can we do to help you today? How can we make your job easier? How can we make your day-to-day operations better for you? And if it's something I can do right now, I'll do it right now. If it's something I need to work on and give me some time, I'll start working on it. But then going from there, you start digging even more. Okay, so I helped you out with today's operation. What are you doing for Christmas? What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Well, I don't know, don't have much plans. Well, how can I help you? What can I do to help you facilitate some plans? And you've been working hard, what can I do to help you? Well, I would like to take a trip. Done. Take a trip. Where do you want to go? I'll book it right now. And giving these people like the reward of not money, not a trip, but the reward of knowing that they have someone that has their back, no matter what the situation is. That's huge in our meetings. Understanding like, what do you need? What can we do to help you out? And then helping them facilitate their vision and inspiration into reality. That's the trick. It's easy to say, what do you need? Let me help you, and not do anything about it. It's making that and turning into reality for them in their life. It's huge.
Dude, gosh, freaking dang it. Like, look, man, look, guys, this is you are getting a master class from a master of people, somebody who has mastered the art of communicating with the person who's brand new to the person who's been there for 10, 15 years. You are learning how he has systematically changed the culture. That's the thing question. How much turnover do you have?
Not very much.
I already knew the answer. I had to hear it. Why would you leave a culture that focuses on personal growth? Why would you leave something that is so invested in you as a person first? Go back to the very beginning of what we talked about, is building people first before you build your business. This is phenomenal. Absolutely freaking phenomenal.
I got just touching that point, just last week, one of my equipment operators got offered $7 an hour more to leave to another company. He turned them down because he said, I can make more money, but my life won't be the same. If I can't have the same lifestyle, I don't want more money.
Wow.
He said, I'd rather have my lifestyle I have today than have more money and not be able to play with my kids at night and be working 80 hours a week and not see my family. And he's like, nope, I'll stay here. And he told me about this. I'm like, well, thank you. I can't give you $7 an hour more, but I'll give you more money. So I gave him a raise just because he was so honest about it and was faithful to the company and the culture.
Huge. Dude, that's huge. That said perfect to my next question. When we talked before, you talk a lot about you need to fix yourself before you said this. You need to fix yourself before you can fix your business. You need to fix your marriage. You need to fix your marriage or your relationship with your kids before you can build your business. You need to get rid of your pride, envy, malice before you can exponentially grow a business. Please explain, if you guys haven't understood it at this point, Melvin, explain this thought process on how it has served you up to this point on everything. Let me just rephrase it again. You need to fix yourself before you can fix your business. You need to fix your marriage, your relationship with your kids before you can build a business. You need to get rid of pride, envy, malice before you can exponentially grow as a person and as a business.
I said that, didn't I?
You did.
You're teaching me now. I'm teaching myself here. It's very important. And things that, when we say things and it gets repeated back to us, it's almost like that extra flavor, that second wind, that second bump that you get, knowing that, you know what, there's something to this that I'm doing. And I thank you for this, because this interview is helping me, because it reminds me of the things that my principles and my things that I learned. And it's true. To build a business, you can't build it if you're wrecked. If you're tore up from the floor up and beat up from the feet up, no one's going to believe you. No one's going to follow you. And that's important, because in this business, we talked about the foundation. They need to be able to follow you into battle. And if your life does not reflect, it's going to be hard for them to follow. A marriage is very important. If you're married, if you're not, I understand. I mean, there's different situations, but to have a good marriage will only help you focus more on your business and not on the issues at home, because it's hard. Imagine having a tough relationship at home with your kids, with your wife, a situation where it takes every little bit of energy to keep together, and now you're coming to work depleted. You come to work tired. You didn't sleep last night. You come to work with no energy. You're exhausted. All you want to do is sit on your desk and sleep, depressed, right? It's very important that that stuff at home gets fixed. It's important that you, all the malice, all the hate, all the hatred, the envy, right? Because it's really easy to, like we talked about earlier, this stuff comes natural to us, to envy, to want, to desire, to hate. The stuff is hard. I mean, easy for us. What's hard is not to listen to those things. And once the minute you start ignoring those issues in life, you can focus on what is at task, is building a business and building people. Because you can't have envy, when you're building people. You can't have hatred when you're building people. You can't have the malice and the negativity when you want to build people, because people are what's going to build you in your life. So you got that hammer, you got that nail, and you're building people, and you're constructing, and you're understanding how people are important in your life. But if you're not that positive person in their life, it's hard for them to flourish. And it's very important that everything needs to be aligned as you continue to build a business, because building a business is not easy. It's going to take most of your focus. And if you don't have a team behind you that's going to help you focus on your business, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult. Somebody tells you, you've been at work all day, why don't you take me to dinner? Why aren't you playing with the kids outside? The kids got to they got to understand too. Hey, you're doing this for them. And it's sitting them down, sitting your wife down, your kids down, your mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever's part of your support team, sitting them down. Listen, I'm going to be at work for the next 5 to 10 years, and you're not going to see much of me right now. But when I get this done, we're going to have the life we want. But I need your support. And if you're on page, if you're with me, let's do this together. If not, don't do it. I'd rather people have a better lifestyle at home than a better bank account, or a fat wallet. Because what's more valuable? When we pass away, people are going to say, well, this guy had a big bank account. No, they're going to talk about this. He was a great father. He was a great husband. He was a great mentor. He was a great person. He loved everyone. Which is more valuable? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Today's currency is love, especially right now. Today's currency is not what sits in a bank account, but the amount of love that you can give. And there's a song, I think it's called Millionaire. And it talks about that. It talks about how, I'm a millionaire because I have a lot of love. And that's what's important. A lot of love to give.
Gosh, I just had to clap. Sorry. Man, that was freaking good. Man, that was so good. I need to know, everybody needs to know this. Where does this all come from? Melvin, meaning where does this thought process of elevating others who, for lack of better words, can't see the future that it has been explained to them? Like, where does all of this deep sense of giving and looking out for people, where does it all come from?
Gratitude.
I mean, there you go, guys. Gratitude. Be grateful. Grateful every day. If you haven't noticed that theme in this conversation, is Melvin is extremely grateful for what he has, what he's able to give back. He said this before, and you hear this a lot. Money can't buy you happiness. No, I beg to differ. Money can buy people happiness. You don't feel so? Look at the example he gave. Guy could have left for $7 more. Nope. He's creating opportunities to help empower people to become better versions of themselves. In every business he creates, it's an opportunity to elevate somebody else to become a better version, not for themselves, but their generations down the road, 4, 5, 6 generations down the road, and go, dang, we have all of this because my great-great-grandfather was humble enough to listen to somebody tell him, you are better than this. I can see it. And if you follow me, I promise you, this is where you're going to be. It's a what legacy are you leaving for your kids? This podcast that I do is not for me. It's not for my children. It's for my grandchildren, my great-great-great-grandchildren. What was my Che like? That's Navajo for grandpa. What was my Nully like? It's Navajo. What were they like? They can go back and rewatch this over and over and over and over again. Say, this is what your grandfather did. He empowered you to do that. Melvin has empowered people. Generational change is what he is doing. God, it is so beautiful to what we're witnessing today.
And Cam, it's so rewarding. So rewarding. The feeling you get to when they click, when they see it, and their eyes open up, and they're like, yes, that's it. That's it. The reward you get when you see it happen is like when your kid takes his first steps. And you're just so gun-ho, oh my gosh, his first step. But we understand people are going to walk. But their first steps are huge, impactful. You know, those are moments you'll never forget. You record it, you take pictures of it, and you document that because it was their first steps. When you do that as a mentor and you see the people that you're helping through the way take their first steps, it's so rewarding. So rewarding.
Okay. How are you now empowering your children? You guys go back to, he's got 3, his oldest son, Sebastian. I've seen him when he was little to where he is now.
Yeah.
Crazy. The image between him and Melvin is nuts. How are you taking the principles that you're empowering? Because the biggest people you can mentor are your own family, your wife. You're not mentoring your wives, but you both are mentors to your children and those around. Take us through that process. How are you taking all that you're learning and empowering your children to be the best versions today so that their future self come back and be, and that's the greatest reward?
I mean, you understand you're a father. I wish I could sit with my son right now and talk to him like I'm talking to you right now and just give him all the advice that I'm giving him. Son, you need to be humble. You need to love people. Son, you need to be this. So, I mean, we go checklist on and on. I wish I could sit there and do that with my son. But you know what my son's going to do? Dad, are you done yet? That's just the fact of kids. They're not going to listen. They won't listen to their dad. But what they do is they see. Because actions are louder than words. So how I teach my kids is not sitting them down and mentor them, is I live my life the way we talk about now. And they're observant. They see it. They see it. They understand it. They see it. And that's how I teach my kids. Not by words, not by hard disciplines, and not by, I don't rule with an iron fist, right? But what I do is I act upon the things we spoke about for the last, few minutes here. I don't know how long it's been, but I live that way. And they see it. I encourage them to live their life outside of their comfort zone. I do that. I push them. I do absolutely push them. My kids, since they were able to speak, they order their own food at a restaurant. I don't order their food. You're hungry enough, you're gonna order your own food. They're very timid at that age. Oh, my 11-year-old has full-on conversation with the waitress. I mean, they go and they have a full-on conversation. My 16-year-old, I mean, he's not shy and he'll talk to people and understanding that, you know what, it's living outside your comfort zone that's going to make you successful. My son just got back about 4 weeks ago. He was 3 months in Mexico. He's trying to go international baseball. He's trying to go pro. My son had never left the house, ever. My kids are homeschooled. They've been homeschooled since Sebastian was in the 3rd grade, 4th grade, or something like that. So he's been homeschooled for a lot of years, and he goes to Mexico, and he's down there for 3 months. And my wife, she stayed there for at least 2 months, other than 3 months, I think. But he was in an institution where They, he lived there. He slept there, worked out there. It was full on baseball 6 days a week. It was baseball, 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 baseball. Wake up 7 a.m. You eat, train, weight training, lunch, back to baseball. It was an academy, and my wife was there for support. Luckily, we were so blessed to be able to have our kids and my wife move down there for the summer and be there with him. But he was homesick. He got really homesick, and then he was there probably a month, month and a half of that full time on his own. We weren't there. He was on his own, and he got very uncomfortable. And he would call me. He's like, "Dad, I want to come home." And you have to remind him, "Why are you there? What's the reason you're there?" "Well, I want to go pro." Understand, kid, that sometimes you need to be uncomfortable to be successful. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck. I know you want to cry right now. I know you want to be home. I mean, this kid at this point was 15, never been away from home, and now he's in a different country with kids he's never met before, and food he's not used to eating. Different. He's sleeping in a bunk bed, and this guy's used to sleeping in a Tempur-Pedic, in his own bedroom, in his own bathroom. He's got a living quarters is huge, and now he's in a room with 30 kids in a bunk bed. It's a shock for him, but understanding that I needed to guide him in the way of it's going to be uncomfortable, kid. It's going to suck. It's not going to be cool. It's going to hurt, and it's what you're doing now that's going to become the stepping stones that are going to determine the person who you are in the future. And I told him, like, listen, bro, this is it. Live it up, enjoy it, because this is what it's all about, the battles. And, my other kids are kind of young, like an 11 and 7-year-old, they're out there playing. But when they come of age to where they got to make decisions to become uncomfortable in a bigger level, I'll be there to support them. Absolutely.
I mean, you can't beat that. You can't beat that type of. I love that. Like, we don't order for our kids. Just won't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, our kids all have jobs. Those are in high school. I mean, our youngest, our 15-year-olds all have jobs. Look, and they ask, they're like, man, I this job takes up a ton of my time. Yeah. You want things in life, you're going to have to work for them. We will provide a portion, but you want to do this, you go do this. You want this, you go do. We stopped paying for sporting activities long time ago. Stop paying for what happened is it forced our kids to say, do I really want to play this sport? Do I really want this? And if they do, they'll pay for it. And once they put the skin in the game, then they're like, man, I'm all in. I got to work my butt off for this. And they do. And we're there, and we'll support and do the things, we'll pay for things. But we want to see, how committed are you? How committed really are you to the sport? How committed are you really to this love that you have? And it applies across the board. How committed are you to really investing in yourself and in your future? Do you really spend? And we hear this all the time. Take 10% or 5% of your monthly income and put that into personal development. Put that into yourself. Give yourself permission to become the best version of yourself. To do that, you are going to have to spend some money. How hard, really? $14 a month for Audible, and then you pay for the books. $20 buy a book for $20. Buy a paperback. Buy a used book. Books behind me, all used. There's a few that I bought brand new, but I use books 100%. A used book to a new book is the same book.
Yeah, same letters, same words.
Oh, dang, man, there's so much. Be respectful of your time. You're a busy man. I appreciate this. I have to ask this question, and this question comes from a question you and I originally, when we were talking before this. Take us into the mind of Melvin. Meaning, what I'm meaning is during the day, as you're balancing your meetings and your family and your obligation, what goes through your brain on a daily and a weekly and a monthly basis? Take us through that space. How are you trying to elevate yourself to that next level?
Okay, well, glad you asked that. I own a few racehorses. I love horses. Just by the The reaction, you didn't know that, did you?
No, I did not know that. Wow, that's so cool.
I own a few racehorses, and one of the things they do when they run, and they have these blinders on. You see a horse with the headset, they have these blinders on. They have these blinders on, so they don't see what's on the side of them, so they can focus on their race. They can hear what's going on. They hear the noise. They hear the crowds. They hear the other horses, but their focus is straight ahead. That's one of the things I focus on every day. I hear the noise. I hear the drama. I hear uh, what the politics. I hear this. I hear that. You know what? But I got my blinders on every day. If we focus on our race, not somebody else's race, not somebody else's problems, but we focus on our race, that all we're doing is focusing on our lane and going towards that finish line. That's all we need. My day-to-day mindset is, what can I do to focus on the end of the day today, the end of the week, the end of the year, my 5-year plan and my 10-year plan. That's what I'm focusing on. I hear the noise. I don't focus on the noise. I don't want to look left. I don't want to look right. All I want to do is look down my own lane and focus on that lane. And to me, uh, that's shown a lot of results, huge results. Focus every day down your lane. Focus on your own race, not somebody else's.
You guys are all thinking, man, there's some golden magic thing that he's going to say. Know your lane, stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, bro.
Oh, man. Dude, that is so good. Okay, people want to know how to find you, where to find you. They want to know where you're at. So, tell the listeners, give us a little insight of how can we get a hold of you? How can we follow your social media links? We'll have all that down here, but just tell us, if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to connect with you, Melvin Estorga?
Send me a DM on Instagram, Melvin Estorga, at Melvin Estorga, MElvinEstorga. That's the best way. I live on that thing, man. I communicate with a lot. When I meet people and acquaintances, I have, go to let's say a cocktail party or a gathered network event. I don't like getting people's number. Send me what's your Instagram? Because to me, I want to make sure I vet you before I let you into my circle. And if you have my cell phone number, one thing is business is, here's my number, call me, we're going to do business. But we're talking about, people. I like to see who you are before I start letting you have my personal information as far as let you into. So I do a lot of DMs. So send me a DM and I'll communicate with my friends. Like my friend communication, I don't even text anymore. We're just all DM. It's just easier. I live on there. So at Melvin Estorga, Melvin Estorga on Facebook, LinkedIn. It's all Melvin Estorga all across the board. MElvin.
This has been a banger, and put it in baseball terms. And this is bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, bases juiced. We're down by 4, and this is a grand slammy. This is the grand salami right here. Man, this is amazing. This has been so much fun, so much insightful. Yes, we have focused a lot on the business side of this, but the practicality is you literally can take this and focus it on, how can I apply this to my day-to-day life? How can I set myself up for success today? How can I be grateful every single day that I can wake up and breathe, that I'm free to live how and choose how I want to live, where I want to live, do what I want to do? If you don't feel that, this has been the conversation we've had. Yes, it's been business and creating a culture. How are you creating a culture inside of your home? How are you creating a culture inside of yourself? Mm-hmm. Because you can't build a business unless you fix yourself. You can't run a successful family. You can't be a successful person personally without fixing yourself. The greatest battle that you'll ever face is right between your ears. I've heard that every guru you'll listen to, they will say that. And Melvin and I have sat amongst some powerful people and listened to that. And we're like, man, this has been fantastic. Holy crap. Yes. All right. As we wrap up, I always ask, man, I love asking these questions. If you were to see your 5-year-old self today, little Melvin Estorga, your 5-year-old self today, what do you think he would say to you?
Holy cow. Oh. That's a good one. What my 5-year-old version would say to myself today.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Can I get a ride in your car? I'm 5. I'm looking at the red Ferrari. I'm like, I want to get in that.
It is a sweet car. It is a sweet car.
Thank you.
Man, I'm jacked. This was amazing. Before I let you go, give me your top 5 books that you would recommend anybody to read, whether it's business, self-help, spiritual, professional growth, whatever it is. What are your top 5 books you would recommend someone to read, and why?
Oh, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Proverbs. Those are 5 books.
There you go. You've learned from a simple man who has mastered the craft of being the best version of himself every single day. Gosh, dang it. I'm so excited for this. This is, guys, look, man, when you listen to this, go back, you'll enjoy this conversation as much as I have. Please share it to somebody who needs that little extra kick. Share it to somebody who's like, man, how do I become better today? Share it to somebody, share it to your boss, share it to the owner of your company. Sit down and listen to it as a family and say, how can we be better today, every single day? Be grateful for what we have. Thank God for what He's given us, the ability to connect and love people.
Yep.
This has been a fantastic episode, and one that will be played over and over and over again. Guys, Melvin, from the bottom of my heart, I love you, brother. I'm so grateful to call you a friend, a mentor. I have his cell phone, which is phenomenal. Thank you for being on. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Guys,
Thank you.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.